Every night, millions of people get into cars with strangers, relying on a digital record to guarantee their safety. This invisible grid is what we trust. These GPS pings create a continuous data trail that connects every rider to a verified vehicle, theoretically making it impossible for someone to disappear without a trace. But at 1:20 a.m. in Los Angeles, the city was unusually quiet and the streets were nearly empty. When that digital grid fails, the isolation is absolute. You are left in a physical space that the tracking system no longer recognizes. Mia stood alone on the sidewalk and opened her app to book a ride home. The response was almost immediate. Within minutes, a car pulled up to her exact location. She climbed into the back seat. The driver didn't say a word. He just gave a small nod and pulled away from the curb. For the first few miles, the ride felt like any other. The car moved at the expected speed, and the driver kept his eyes on the road. This mechanical efficiency is what we expect from the service. Because the car arrived on time and the driver was professional, there was no reason to suspect the ride had already deviated from the norm. After a few minutes, the atmosphere inside the car began to feel heavy. Mia realized they hadn't turned where they were supposed to. She looked out the window. The landmarks were wrong. The car was heading away from her neighborhood. This map shows the data discrepancy Mia saw on her phone. While the green line shows the efficient route suggested, the jagged red line tracks the car's actual movement into an isolated industrial part of the city. With every block, the distance between where she was and where she was supposed to be grew larger. Mia leaned forward and spoke up. "Excuse me, this isn't the right way." The driver didn't answer. He didn't look at her or even shift in his seat. This complete lack of social response, ignoring a passenger while driving in the wrong direction, indicated that this was no longer a simple navigation error. Mia looked away from her phone and toward the driver, her eyes fixing on the rearview mirror. The reflection showed the headrest and the back seat clearly, but the space where the driver's face should have been was a featureless, empty blur. Panic took over. She grabbed her phone to call for help, her fingers shaking as she tried to pull up the dialer. The phone was useless. This heat map illustrates the cellular environment at that moment. A perfectly circular void had opened up, creating a total dead zone that followed the car's exact position. On a completely empty road, the car began to slow down. It coasted for a moment and then came to a full stop. The driver spoke for the first time, his voice low and without emotion. "You weren't supposed to notice." The driver's words suggest that the stop was a direct reaction to Mia seeing through the illusion. Once she noticed the anomaly in the mirror, the ride was over. By the next morning, Mia was gone. No one has seen her since that night in Los Angeles. When investigators looked into her phone, they found the only remaining trace of the event, her rideshare account. This was the state of the app. The ride in progress animation was still spinning, but the data fields for the driver's name and vehicle details were returning null errors, as if the information had been wiped in real time. There was no record of who the driver was or what car had been dispatched. In the company's back-end history, the trip simply didn't exist. We are left with a physical disappearance and a digital loop that refuses to close. The technology we use for safety is built on the assumption that every car has a driver and every driver has a name. But when something else gets behind the wheel, the grid doesn't protect us. It just records the moment we slip through the cracks.